Act 3, Scene 1. Mercutio, his page, and Benvolio enter with other men. I am begging you, good Mercutio, let's go home. It's hot, and the Capulets are all over the place. If we should meet up with them, we'll end up fighting them. Hot days like today get people all worked up and angry. You're the kind of guy who walks into a bar, slaps his sword down on the table, and says, I hope I don't have to use you. And by the time he's having his second drink, he draws his sword on the bartender for no reason. You think I'm like that? Oh, come on now. You can be as hot-blooded as any man in Italy. You get angry at the smallest things, and when you're in the mood to get angry, you always find something to get angry about. So what? So if there were two men such as you, it wouldn't take long for there to be none, because each of you would kill the other. Why, you would fight with a man if he had one more or one less hair in his beard than you have in yours. You'll fight a man who's cracking nuts, simply because your own eyes are the color of hazelnuts. Only someone like you would look for that kind of fight. Your head is as full of fights as an egg is full of food, but your own head has gotten scrambled like an egg from all your fighting. You once fought with a man who coughed in the street because he woke up your dog that was sleeping in the sun. And can you deny that you had a falling out with a tailor because he was wearing a new jacket before Easter? And with another for tying his shoes with old laces. And yet you're trying to tell me how to avoid fighting. If I were as quick to get into fights as you, my life insurance rates would be immense. Your life insurance? You're a fool. Tybalt, Petruchio, and other Capulets enter. By God, here come the Capulets! By my foot, I couldn't care less. Tybalt, to his men. Follow me closely. I'll speak to them. To Benvolio and Mercutio. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'd like to have a word with you. You want a single word with one of us? Combine it with something else. Make it a word and a punch. You'll find me happy to do that, sir, if you give me reason. You can't find a reason without me giving you one? Mercutio, you hang out with Romeo. Hang out? What, are we musicians in a band? If we look like musicians to you, you can expect to hear nothing but noise. Touching his sword. This is my fiddlestick. It will make you dance. My God, hang out. We're talking here in public. Either let's go somewhere private and calmly discuss your complaints, or else just go our separate ways. Here everybody can see us. Men's eyes were made to see. Let them watch. I won't move for anyone. Well, may peace be with you. Here comes the man I'm after. Romeo enters. Sir, I'll be hanged if he's your man, in your servant's uniform. Walk out into a field and he'll chase you. That's the only sense in which you can call him your man. Romeo, I have just one thing to say to you. You're a villain. Tybalt, I love you for a reason that allows me to ignore the rage I would normally feel in response to such a greeting. I'm not a villain. Therefore, goodbye. I can see you don't know me at all. Boy, these words don't excuse the injuries you've done to me. Turn and draw your sword. I've never done you harm. In fact, I love you more than you'll be able to understand until you know the reason behind my love. And so, good Capulet, which is a name I love as dearly as my own, be satisfied. Such a calm submission is both dishonorable and vile. The thrust of a sword will sweep it away. Draws his sword. Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you duel with me? What do you want from me? Good king of cats, I want nothing more than one of your 9 lives. I'll boldly take that one. And depending on how you behave after that, I just may also beat the rest of the 8 out of you as well. Will you draw your sword from its sheath? Hurry, or mine will be at your ears before you have yours out. I'll duel with you. He draws his sword. Noble Mercutio, put your sword away. Mercutio to Tybalt. Get on with it, sir. Attack! Romeo, drawing his sword. Draw your sword, Benvolio, and help me beat down their weapons. Gentlemen, this is shameful. Tybalt, Mercutio, the prince has explicitly forbidden fighting in the streets of Verona. Stop! Tybalt, good Mercutio! Mercutio and Tybalt fight. Romeo tries to break up the fight. Tybalt stabs Mercutio under Romeo's outstretched arm. Let's get out of here, Tybalt. I'm hurt. May a plague strike both your families. I'm done. Did he get away without injury? Tybalt, Petruchio, and the other Capulets exit. What are you hurt? Yes, a scratch. Just a scratch. Yet it's enough. Where is my page? Go, villain, get a doctor. Have courage, man. The injury can't be so bad. Mercutio's page exits. Ugh. It's not as deep as a well or as wide as a church door, but it's enough. Ask for me tomorrow, and you'll find me a grave man. My time in this world is done, I believe. May a plague strike both your families. God! That dog, that rat, that mouse, that cat has scratched me to death. That braggart, that scoundrel, that villain who fights as if he's learned it all from some manual. To Romeo. Why the devil did you step between us? He wounded me by reaching under your arm. I was trying to do the right thing. Carry me inside some house, Benvolio, or else I will faint. May a plague strike both your families. They've made me into food for worms. I'm finished. Curse your families. Mercutio and Benvolio exit. This gentleman, a kinsman of the prince and my friend, was killed while fighting on my behalf, to defend me against Tybalt's insult. Tybalt! Who has been my own kinsman for an hour. Oh, sweet Juliet, your beauty has made me effeminate, and softened the steel of my valor. Benvolio enters. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, brave Mercutio is dead. His noble spirit has gone to heaven, but it was too early for him to save his life. Today's dark fate will determine the future. These events only begin the sorrow that is to come. Tybalt enters. The furious Tybalt has returned, alive and triumphant, while Mercutio is dead. Begone! Respect and compassion. Rage and fury will be my guide. Now, Tybalt, take back the villain that you called me earlier. Mercutio's soul is waiting just a bit above our heads for you to join him. Either you, I, or both of us must go with him. Wretched boy, you hung out with him here on earth, and now you're going up with him to heaven. Our fight will decide who goes to heaven. They fight. Tybalt falls. Dies. Romeo, get away from there. The citizens are coming, and Tybalt is dead. Don't just stand there staring. If you're caught, the prince will execute you. Get out of here. Oh, fate has played me for a fool. Why are you still here? Where did the man who killed Mercutio run? Tybalt, that murderer, which way did he go? Romeo exits. The citizens of the watch enter. Tybalt is lying right there. To Tybalt. Get up, sir, and come with me. By the name of the prince, I command you to obey. Where are the evil instigators of this fight? The prince enters with Montague, Capulet, Lady Montague, Lady Capulet, and others. Oh, noble prince, I can explain everything about the unfortunate events that led to this deadly fight. There lies Tybalt, the man who killed your relative, brave Mercutio. Tybalt was then killed by young Romeo. Tybalt! My nephew! My brother's son! Oh, prince, oh, nephew, oh, husband, oh, my dear kinsman is dead! Prince, you are a man of honor, and therefore must respond to this murder by killing a Montague. Oh, nephew, nephew! Benvolio, who began this deadly fight? Tybalt did, who then was killed by Romeo. Romeo spoke politely to Tybalt and begged him to see how ridiculous the disagreement was, and to remember how displeased you would be if there was a fight. All this he said gently, calmly, kneeling down with humility, but he could not make peace. Tybalt's anger was irrational, and he was deaf to any talk of peace. Soon Tybalt attacked Mercutio, who, just as angry, fought back. They thrusted their swords and attacked each other. Romeo cried out, "Stop, my friends, step apart!" Then he jumped in between them and forced down their swords. Tybalt, though, thrust his sword under Romeo's arm and hit brave Mercutio's heart. Then Tybalt ran. But soon after, Tybalt returned to fight Romeo, who by now wanted revenge for Mercutio's death. They began to fight as quickly as lightning. Before I could separate them, Tybalt was killed. And as Tybalt fell, Romeo turned and ran. This is the truth, I swear on my life. Benvolio is a Montague. His loyalty compels him to lie. He's lying. There must have been 20 Montagues fighting, and together all 20 of them could only kill one man. I beg for justice that only you, Prince, can give. Romeo killed Tybalt. Romeo must die. Romeo killed Tybalt. Tybalt killed Mercutio. Who should pay the price for Mercutio's life? Not Romeo, Prince. He was Mercutio's friend. His crime was justice, because it took the life of Tybalt. And for that offense, I immediately exile him from this place. I have a part in your rivalry. My blood relative, Mercutio, lies bleeding because of your rude fights. but I will punish you so harshly that you will regret causing me this loss. I will be deaf to your pleas and your excuses. Neither tears nor prayers can buy you forgiveness for what you've done wrong, so don't use any. Let Romeo get out of here quickly. Otherwise, when he is found, he will be swiftly killed. Take this body away and obey my commands. Showing mercy and pardoning murderers only causes more killings. They all exit. Act 3, Scene 2. Move faster, you fiery-footed horses, bearing the sun toward its nighttime resting place. Phaeton would whip you so hard that you would already have brought the sun west and night would come immediately. Come, night, with your darkness, so that Romeo can come to me without anyone knowing and leap into my arms. In the dark, lovers can still see enough by the light of their own beauty to make love. Or, if love is blind, then it is best suited to the night. Come, night, you widow dressed in black, and teach me how to win my love so that we can both lose our virginities. Hide the blood rushing to my cheeks in your darkness, until my shy love grows bold enough to think of love-making as simple and true. Come, night, come, Romeo. You're like a day during the night, lying on the wings of night, even whiter than snow on the wings of a raven. Come, gentle night, come, loving, dark night, give me my Romeo. And when I die, take him and cut him into the stars that will make the night sky so beautiful that the entire world will fall in love with the night and forget about the tasteless sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of love, but not yet possessed it. I belong to Romeo, but have not yet enjoyed by him. This day is so long and dull, just as the night before some festival is to an impatient child forced to wait to put on her fancy new clothes. The nurse enters carrying the rope ladder. Oh, here comes my nurse bringing news. Every voice that speaks Romeo's name speaks with heavenly beauty. Now, nurse, what's your news? What is it that you have there? The rope ladder Romeo told you to get? Juliet enters alone. Yes, the ladder. Oh no, what's your news? Why are you wringing your hands? Alas, he's dead! He's dead! He's dead! We're done for, lady, done for! Curse the day, he's gone! He's killed, he's dead! Oh, can God be so cruel? Romeo can be, though God is not. Oh, Romeo, Romeo! Whoever would have guessed? Romeo! What kind of devil are you to torment me in this way? This sort of torture is fit only for hell. Has Romeo killed himself? Say yes, and that single word will poison me more terribly than could even the deadly gaze of the cockatrice. I will cease to be myself if you say that Romeo killed himself. If he's dead, say yes. If not, say no. Those little words will determine my joy or my pain. I saw the wound. I saw it with my own eyes. God bless that wound, here, on his manly chest. A pitiful corpse. A bloody, pitiful corpse. Pale as ashes and covered in blood. Gory with blood. Oh, I fainted at the sight of it. Oh, my poor bankrupt heart is breaking. Go to prison, eyes, so you will never again be free to look at this world. I'll bury my body in the earth, where it will lie motionless and share a single coffin with Romeo. Oh, Tybalt! Tybalt, the best friend I ever had! Oh, well-mannered, honorable Tybalt! If only I had not lived long enough to see him die! What storm is this to cause so many different disasters? Has Romeo been killed? And Tybalt, too. Oh, Tybalt, my dearest cousin, and Romeo, who as my husband was more dear to me. May the last trumpet play to signal the onset of doomsday, because who could remain alive if those two were gone? Tybalt is dead. Romeo has been banished. It was Romeo who killed Tybalt, which is why he was banished. Oh, God! Did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood? It did! Unfortunately, it did. Oh! He has a traitor's heart hidden behind a pretty face. Did any dragon ever nest in such a pretty cave? He's a beautiful tyrant, a fiendish angel, a raven hiding under the feathers of a dove, a lamb that kills like a wolf, a hateful reality hidden by a beautiful appearance, the exact opposite of what he seemed. He seemed like a saint, but should be damned. He's a villain who seemed honorable. Oh, nature, what were you doing in hell when you placed the soul of a devil in the paradise of such a perfect man? Has any book with such awful contents ever had a more beautiful cover? Oh, how could such a betrayal hide in such a gorgeous body? There is no trust, faith, or honesty in men. They all break their oaths. They're all wicked. They all lie. Where's my servant? Get me some brandy. These griefs, these miseries, these sorrows make me old. Shame on Romeo. May blisters cover your tongue for making a wish like that. Romeo was not born to have anything to do with shame. Shame could never be connected to him, because he is destined only to experience great and total honor. Oh, I was such a beast to condemn him. You're going to speak well of a man who killed your cousin? Should I speak badly of my own husband? Ah, my poor husband, who will speak well of you when I, your wife of 3 hours, have been calling you such dreadful names? But why, you villain, did you kill my cousin? Because my villain of a cousin would have killed you, my husband. I refuse to cry. These tears, which seem like sadness for Tybalt's death, are actually tears of joy that Romeo is still alive. My husband, whom Tybalt would have killed, is alive, and Tybalt, who wanted to kill my husband, is dead. This is good news, so why am I crying? Because there was news that's even worse than that of Tybalt's death. Worse news that kills me inside. I wish I could forget it, but it forces its way into my memory, the way sins obsess guilty minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo has been banished. The word banished, that single word banished, is worse than the death of 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death would have been misery enough even if nothing else had happened. Or if misery loves company, and one grief must necessarily follow another, then it would have been better had the nurse, after telling me that Tybalt was dead, had told me that my mother, or my father, or even both were gone. That would have punished me into normal feelings of grief. But to tell me that Tybalt is dead, and then say Romeo has been banished? To say that is the same as saying that my mother, my father, Tybalt, Romeo, and Juliet have all been killed, are all dead. Romeo has been banished. The death contained in those 4 words is infinite, unmeasurable. No words can express that misery. Where are my mother and father, nurse? Crying over Tybalt's corpse. Will you join them? I'll bring you there. They wash Tybalt's wounds with their tears. My tears will still be flowing because of Romeo's banishment when their tears for Tybalt have gone dry. Take this rope ladder, this poor rope ladder, made useless because Romeo has been exiled. He made this ladder to be his passageway to my bed, but I am a virgin, and now will die a virgin, and a widow. Come with me, rope ladder. Come with me, nurse. I'm going to my wedding bed. Death, not Romeo, will take my virginity. Go to your bedroom. I'll bring Romeo to comfort you. I know where he is. Pay attention. Your Romeo will be here tonight. I'll get him. He's hiding in Friar Lawrence's cell. Juliet, giving the nurse a ring. Oh, go and find him. Give this ring to my true knight, and tell him to come see me, to say a final goodbye. They exit. Act 3, Scene 3. Friar Lawrence enters. Romeo, come here! Come here, you frightened man! Trouble follows you, and you're married to catastrophe. Romeo enters. Father, what's the news? Did the prince state how I am to be punished? What unknown suffering is coming for me? My dear son, you're too familiar with suffering. I do have news for you about the prince's punishment for you. Is it anything less than my death? His judgment was gentler than that. You won't be executed, but you will be banished from Verona. Banishment! Be merciful, say death! Exile is much worse to me than death. Don't say banishment, you are banished from Verona. Be patient. The world is big, and anything can happen. The world outside Verona's walls is like purgatory, torture, hell itself. Being banished from Verona is the same thing as being banished from the world, and being banished from the world is the same as death. Banishment is just a different name for death. So telling me that I'm banished is like cutting off my head with a golden axe and smiling while murdering me. Oh, deadly sin! Oh, you rude, unthankful child! Your crime is punishable by death, but the prince, in his kindness, defended you, and bypassed the law by replacing death with banishment. This is mercy, but you can't see it. Father, it is torture, not mercy. Heaven is in Verona because this is where Juliet lives. Every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy creature that lives in Verona lives in heaven because it can be here to see her. But I won't be able to. Carrion eating flies will have more vitality, a more blessed existence, and more romance than I will. They can touch Juliet's white hand and can steal kisses from her sweet lips, which, though she is a pure virgin, blush when they touch each other because they think it's a sin. But Romeo can't touch her hand or kiss her. Flies can kiss her, but I must fly from the city. Flies are free, but I've been banished. Do you still argue that exile isn't death? You didn't have some poison, a sharpened knife, or some other weapon that you could have used to kill me quickly? Nothing so disgraceful, other than banishment. Oh, friar, damned souls use the word banishment to describe hell. They howl the word. How, as a priest, confessor, and my friend, can you have the heart to say that word to me? Banished. Silly madman. Listen to me for a second. Now you're just going to talk again about banishment. I'll protect you from that word by using the cure for adversity, philosophy, which will comfort you even though you've been banished. In the face of banishment, let philosophy be hanged. Unless philosophy can create a Juliet, move an entire town to a new place, or reverse a prince's punishment, it can't help me. Stop talking. I've discovered that madmen are deaf. Why should madmen hear, when wise men can't see? Let me discuss your situation with you. You can't talk about something you don't feel. If you were as young as I am, as in love with Juliet, married to her for just an hour, and had murdered Tybalt. If you loved her as I do, and you were banished as I am, then you could talk about it. Though instead, you might tear out your hair and fall to the ground the way I do right now. He falls to the ground. In order to measure out your grave. Get up, someone's knocking. Hide, good Romeo. The sound of knocking comes from off stage. The only way I'll hide is if my heart-sick groans produce a mist that covers me from people's searching eyes. The sound of knocking comes from off stage. They knock again. Who's there? Romeo, stand up. They'll catch you. Hold on for a moment. Romeo, stand up. The sound of knocking comes from off stage. Hide in my study. Just a minute. For the love of God, don't be so stupid. I'm coming. I'm coming. The sound of knocking comes from off stage. Who is that knocking so hard? Where do you come from? What do you want? Nurse from off stage.
Let me in, and I'll tell you why I'm here. I come from Lady Juliet.
Friar Lawrence, opening the door. Welcome, then.
Oh, holy friar. Oh, tell me, holy friar, where is my lady's husband? Where is Romeo?
The nurse enters. There, on the ground, drunk on his own tears.
He's acting like Juliet, exactly like her. Oh, awful sympathy. What a dreadful predicament. She's lying on the ground just like him, blubbering and weeping and weeping and blubbering. Stand up, stand up, stand up if you're a man. For Juliet's sake, for her sake, rise and stand. Why do you moan so terribly?
Nurse!
Well, sir, well, death comes for everybody.
What of Juliet? How is she? Does she think that I'm a cold-blooded murderer because I corrupted our newfound love by killing her relative? Where is she? How is she? What does my wife say about our love?
Oh, she says nothing, sir. Instead, she weeps and weeps. She falls on her bed, then starts to get up, then calls out Tybalt's name, and then your name, and then she falls back down on the bed.
Calls out my name as if it were a bullet that had been shot from a gun and murdered her, just as I murdered her cousin. Tell me, friar, in what vile part of my body does my name rest? Tell me so I can cut it out of myself. He draws his dagger. Stop! Don't do anything out of desperation. Are you a man? You look like a man, but your tears are womanly. Your wildness is like the irrational fury of a beast. You're like an inappropriate woman hiding within a man, or even worse, a shameful beast hiding within a half man, half woman. Oh, you amaze me. By my holy order, I swear, I thought you were stronger and more stable than this. Have you killed Tybalt? Will you kill yourself? And in performing such a sin, also kill your wife who shares your life? Why are you ranting about your birth, the heavens, and the earth? You are made of the joining of all three, and now want nothing to do with them? You bring shame to your body, your love, and your mind. You are blessed with all three. But like a moneylender, you do not use your body, love, or mind for their true purpose. Without honor or nobility, your body is just a wax figure. The love that you swore is just a hollow lie, since you now threaten to kill the love that you vowed to cherish. Your mind, that key to both your body and your love, has failed to handle both of them. You're like an unskilled soldier who accidentally explodes his own gunpowder because he does not know how to use it. You end up killing yourself with the very thing meant to protect you. Now, get a hold of yourself, man. Your Juliet is alive, for whose sake you were just threatening to kill yourself. That is something to be happy about. Tybalt tried to kill you, but you killed Tybalt. That is something to be happy about. The law that promised death for you was mercifully changed to exile. Another thing to be happy about. You have been blessed multiple times and are surrounded by brightest happiness. But like a misbehaved and sullen girl, you are pouting about your bad luck and thwarted love. Now listen to me. Those who act the way that you are acting now die miserable. Go, be with your love as we planned. Climb up to her bedroom and comfort her. But make sure to leave before the watchmen take their position, because they will stop you before you can escape to Manchau. You'll live in Manchau until you can announce your marriage publicly, make peace between your families, and beg the prince to pardon you. Then we'll welcome you back with 20,000 times more joy than you'll feel when leaving. Nurse, go to Juliet before Romeo follows. Give my regards to your lady, and tell her to hurry everybody in their house to bed. It's likely that their sorrow will make them want to go to sleep anyway. Romeo is coming.
Oh, Lord, I could stay here all night listening to a good advice like yours. Education is amazing.
To Romeo.
My lord, I'll tell my lady you will come.
Do that, and tell my beloved to be ready to scold me.
Here, sir, take this ring she asked me to give to you.
She gives Romeo Juliet's ring.
Hurry, it's getting late.
The nurse exit. This ring lifts my spirits. Now go. Good night. And remember that everything depends on you being out of Verona before the night watch takes its position, or that you disguise yourself and leave after daybreak. Stay a while in Mantua. I'll find you a servant, and every once in a while I'll send you news through him about every good thing that occurs for you here. Give me your hand. It's late. Farewell. Good night. Even if I didn't have the greatest joy I'll ever experience calling out to me, it would still be sad to leave you in such a hurry. Goodbye. They all exit. Act 3, Scene 4. Sir, everything has gone so badly that we haven't had any time to speak with Juliet about marrying you. She loved her cousin Tybalt dearly, as did I. Well, we were all born to die. It's very late. She won't be coming downstairs tonight. In fact, if I wasn't meeting with you, I'd have gone to bed an hour ago. Capulet, Lady Capulet, and Paris enter. Painful times provide no chance for love. Lady Capulet, good night. Speak well of me to your daughter. I will, and I'll find out how she feels about marrying you early tomorrow. Tonight, she is locked in her room with her sadness. Sir Paris, I'll make a desperate present of my child's love. I think she'll do whatever I tell her to do. No, I'm sure she will. Wife, go to see her before you go to bed. Explain to her how my son Paris loves her. And tell her, listen to me, on Wednesday. Wait, what day is today? Monday, my lord. Monday, haha. Well, Wednesday is too soon. Make it Thursday. Tell her that on Thursday she'll be married to this noble earl. Will you be ready, Paris? Are you opposed to rushing in this way? We won't have a big party, and just invite a friend or two, because Tybalt was just killed. People might think that we didn't care enough about our cousin if we celebrate too much. Therefore, we'll invite just a half-dozen friends to the wedding, and no more. So what do you say to Thursday? My lord, I wish Thursday were tomorrow.
Well, go home. Thursday it is.
To Lady Capulet.
Go to Juliet before you go to bed. Wife, get her ready for this wedding day.
To Paris.
Goodbye, my lord. I'm off to bed. My goodness, it is so late that we can call it morning before too long. Good night.
They all exit. Act 3, Scene 5. Romeo and Juliet enter on the balcony above the stage. You're leaving? It's not yet close to daytime. The sound you just heard was a nightingale, not a lark. Each night the nightingale sings on the pomegranate tree. Believe me, my love, it was the nightingale. It was the lark, who sings to greet the dawn, not the nightingale. My love, look at the streaks illuminating the clouds parting in the east. Night is over. Day is creeping over the mountaintops. I must leave in order to live. If I stay, I'll die. The light isn't daylight. I know it. It's some meteor sent from the sun to be a torchbearer in order to light your way to Mantua. So stay for a bit longer. You don't have to leave. Oh, let me be caught. Let me be put to death. I'll be happy if that's how you want it. I'll say the grayness over there is not the coming morning. Rather, it's a pale reflection of the moon. And that isn't the lark singing in the sky above our heads. I'd rather stay than go. Come on, death! You'd be welcome here. Juliet wills it. How are you, my love? Let's talk. It is not day. It is day. It is. Get going. Be gone. Go away. It's the lark that's singing so harshly and out of tune. Some say the lark's singing makes a sweet transition between day and night. Oh, that's not true, because the song divides the two of us. Some say the lark and the disgusting toad traded eyes. Now I wish they had also traded voices, because the lark's voice pulls us from each other's arms. It sets men hunting after you. Oh, get going. It's getting more and more light. The lighter it gets, the darker is our misery. The nurse enters.
Madam?
Nurse?
Your mother is on her way to your bedroom. Day has arrived. Be careful. Watch out.
The window lets day in, and now my life goes out the window. The nurse exits. Farewell. Farewell. One more kiss and I'll go down the ladder. They kiss. Romeo drops the ladder and goes down. Are you gone just like that, my love, my lord? Ah, my husband, my lover. I must hear from you every day. There are many days in each minute. Oh, by this I will count. I'll be so much older before I see you again, my Romeo. Farewell. I'll take every opportunity to send you my love. Oh, do you think we'll ever meet again? I don't doubt it. When we're older, these difficulties will just be stories we will tell each other. Oh, God. My soul senses something evil coming. It seems to me that, standing down there as you are, you look as if you were lying dead in the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyesight is failing me, or you look pale. Trust me, my love. In my eyes you look as pale as well. Sadness drains the color of our faces. Goodbye. Goodbye. Romeo exits. Oh, Fortune. People say that you are fickle, always changing your mind. If you are so fickle, what will you do to Romeo, who is so renowned for being faithful? Be fickle, Fortune. Do not keep him so long away. Instead, send him back to Verona soon. Hello, my daughter. Are you up? Who's calling? My mother? Why is she up so late? Or so early? What could possibly be her reason for coming to see me? Lady Capulet enters. Oh, what's the matter, Juliet? Madam, I'm not feeling well. Are you going to weep forever about your cousin's death? Do you think you can wash him out of his grave with tears? Even if you could, you couldn't bring him back to life. Oh, stop crying. Some grief shows a lot of love, but too much grief makes you look silly. Let me weep for such a terrible loss. Weeping like this will make you feel the loss, but won't help you feel the friend you've lost. Feeling the loss so strongly, I can't help but weep for him forever. Well, girl, you're weeping not for his death, but rather because the villain who murdered him still lives. What villain, madam? That same villain, Romeo. Juliet to herself. Is far from a villain. The Lady Capulet. May God pardon him, I do with all my heart, yet he makes my heart grieve more than any other man. That's because that traitorous murderer still lives. Yes, madam,
because he lives outside the reach of my hands. I wish that I was the one who could avenge my cousin's death.
We'll get revenge for it, don't you worry.
Stop your weeping. I'll send a note to a certain man we know in Mantua, which is where that banished renegade Romeo is living. The man will poison Romeo, so that Romeo will soon be keeping Tybalt company in death. And then, I hope you'll be satisfied. In fact, I'll never be satisfied with Romeo until I see him dead, is the way my poor heart feels when I think of my poor cousin. Madam, if you could only find a man with poison, I'd mix it myself so that Romeo would, once dosed with it, sleep quietly. Oh, I hate to hear his name and not be able to go after him. I would like to take my love for my cousin and take it out on the body of the man who killed him. Find a way to do it, and I'll find the man we need to help you. But now, I'll tell you some joyful news, girl. It's good when there is joy during these sad times. What's the news, please? Well, you have a father who cares for you, child. To help you escape your sadness, he has arranged a soon-to-come day of joy that you didn't expect and that I had not considered. Madam, quickly, what day is that? Well, my child, early Thursday morning at St. Peter's Church, the gallant, young, and noble gentleman Count Paris will make you a joyful bride. Right now I swear by St. Peter's Church, and Peter too, that he will not make me a joyful bride. I'm confused by this sudden hurry. Why would I marry this would-be husband before he's even come to court me? I beg you tell my father, madam, I won't marry yet. And when I do marry, I swear I'd marry Romeo, whom you know I hate, before I'd marry Paris. Now that would be some news.
Capulet and the nurse enter.
Here comes your father. Tell him so yourself, and see how he takes it from you. When the sun sets, the air drizzles dew. But when the son of my brother died, the rain came in a downpour.
To Juliet.
What's with you? Are you a fountain, still crying? Will you cry forever? You're like a ship, the sea, and the winds. Like the sea, your eyes ebb and flow with tears. Your body is like the ship, sailing in the salt water of your tears. The winds are your sighs, which rage with tears, and unless you immediately calm down, will toss your body as if it's in a storm and sink you. So what's the story, wife? Have you told her about our announcement?
Yes, and in reply she says thank you, but no thank you. I wish this fool were married to her grave.
What? Explain this to me again, wife. She refuses. She doesn't just say thank you. Is she not proud of the match? Is she not counting her blessings that we have found for her, unworthy as she is such a noble gentleman to be her bridegroom? I'm not proud of what you found, but thankful for your efforts. I can't be proud of what I hate, but I can be thankful for what I hate. It was meant with love. What? Insane logic. What is this? How can you say proud and I thank you and no thank you and not proud? You spoiled brat, don't give me these thank you, no thank yous and proud, not prouds. Just get yourself together for Thursday when you'll be going with Paris to St. Peter's Church. And if you refuse to go, I'll drag you there. My God, you sick corpse! You worthless bit of baggage, you pale face!
To Capulet.
Shame on you. What are you, crazy? Good father, I'm on my knees begging you, please be patient. And let me say just one thing. You disobedient wretch of a worthless girl! I'll tell you what, get yourself to church on Thursday, or never look me again in the face. Don't speak, don't reply, don't answer me.
Juliet rises.
My fingers itch to slap you. Wife, we never thought we had been blessed, that God gave us just this one child. But now I see that this one is one too many. We were cursed when we had her. She sickens me. She's a good for nothing. God in heaven bless her. You're wrong, my lord, to shout at her that way. And why is that, my lady of such wisdom? Shut up. Go chatter with your gossiping cronies. I haven't said anything wrong. Oh, for God's sake, can't I speak? Quiet, you mumbling fool. Save your wisdom for your gossiping buddies. We don't need it here. You're too angry. By God, it makes me angry. Day and night, hour after hour.
through tide and time, working or playing, alone or with company, I've worked to get her a fine match. Now, I've gotten her a noble gentleman, who's good-looking, young, well-educated, and honorable, who's the man of any girl's dream, and this wretched, crying fool, like a whining puppet, responds to this good fortune by answering, I won't marry, I can't love, I'm too young, forgive me. Well, if you won't get married, here's how I'll forgive you. Eat wherever you want, except in my house. Think about that. I am not joking. Thursday is soon. Cover your heart with your hand and listen to my advice. Act like my daughter, and I'll marry you to my friend. Don't. You can beg, starve, and die in the streets. By my soul, I'll never again acknowledge you or help you. Count on it. Think about it. I will not break this oath.
Capulet exits.
Is there no God above that pities my grief? Oh, sweet mother, don't throw me out. Delay this marriage for a month or just a week. Or else make my wedding bed in the family crypt where Tybalt lies.
Don't talk to me. I won't say a word. Do as you please, because I am also done with you. Lady Capulet exits.
Oh, God. Oh, nurse, how can we stop this? My husband is alive on earth. Our vows are up in heaven. How can those vows come back down to earth unless my husband dies and goes to heaven and sends them back down by doing so? Comfort me. Tell me what to do. Oh, oh. Why does God play like this with someone as small as me? What do you say? Don't you have even one happy word? Comfort me, nurse. Here's what I think. Romeo's banished. There's no chance that he would ever come back to challenge you and get married. And if he does come back, he can only do so by sneaking in. Since that's the way things are, I think the best thing for you to do is to marry the Count. He's a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dishcloth compared to him. An eagle does not have eyes as green, quick, or as beautiful as Paris does. Curse my heart, but I think you're lucky to have this second husband, because he surpasses your first. And if he didn't, your first husband is dead, or as good as dead, since Romeo doesn't live here, and you don't get to enjoy him. Are you speaking from your heart? From my heart, my soul, too. If not, curse them both. Amen. What? Well, you have comforted me greatly. Go inside and tell my mother that, because I made my father angry, I've gone to Friar Lawrence's cell to confess and to be absolved. Indeed, I will. This is the wisest course.
The nurse exits.
Damned old lady. Oh, she is the most wicked foe. Is it more of a sin to wish me to go back on my vows, or to say terrible things about my husband when she had praised him as a man without compare so many thousand times before? Go away, nurse, and take your advice with you. Your heart and mine will be separated from now on. I'll go to the friar and ask for his help, and if all else fails, I still have the power to take my own life.
Juliet exits.